Despite passing the Gender Recognition Reform Bill, the Scottish Parliament and the SNP government are facing a backlash from the rest of the United Kingdom, as their authoritarian measures could get blocked by Westminster and King Charles. This is a weird one. On a daily basis, we have no faith in the Westminster government and the Tory party when it comes to anything, really. Nothing gets done, nothing changes, and every measure just makes the situation when it comes to the cost of living crisis, social liberties, and everything else much worse. But for the sake of the sanity of the whole nation, they've decided to actually come back and do something about what happened this week in Scotland. When the Scottish Parliament, we reported earlier on the channel that they passed this bill to not only cancel women, but cancel men, and also science. They'll be basically allowing children to no longer go through a process to get diagnosed with the gender dysphoria. They're just going to basically get anything changed. They could just completely eliminate pronouns and reality. But now we're having a bit of a backlash. Now, under Section 35 of the Scotland Act, the Secretary of State for Scotland could make an order to ban the presiding officer from submitting this act, or the bill, for royal assent to get confirmation from His Majesty. So, of course, obviously, that's the role of the King in this country. This is Alistair Jack. He's the Secretary of State for Scotland, and he's generally a stable politician, despite all the messed up government departments and ministers that we have. Now, politics aside, it's basically said that this bill, in its current state, may have an adverse effect on the Equality Act 2010. Specifically, how the Scottish Gender Recognition Certificates, the GRCs, would be recognised in other parts of the UK. So something that happened by the so-called devolved administration of Scotland, if it actually affects the rest of the UK, then this isn't really about devolved powers anymore, is it, Nicola Sturgeon? You're affecting the whole of the country. You're bringing down the whole of the country. And this is exactly what the SNP establishment want. They don't care about children. They don't care about obviously the conditions that some people have. No, of course not. They're simply utilizing a lot of people as political tools to get their own agenda, to get further. Now, we are where we are now, but things could change. It is almost certain that a Section 35 order by the UK government would be challenged by the Scottish government, obviously, as according to TLDR News. And Scottish government spokesperson has stressed that the bill, as passed, is within legislative competence, and any attempt by the UK government to undermine the democratic will be, obviously, you'll be facing consequences, guys. Ooh, you evil people in England. That's not how it works. And even if it comes to it, I believe these sort of measures, if we see them happening repeatedly, they could actually make a case for abolishing the devolution that Tony Blair has created as a project, an experiment, because it's a failed experiment, Mr. Blair. It doesn't work. It's not decentralization. You created secondary centralized bodies in Wales, Northern Ireland, in Scotland. It doesn't work. And of course, this is all they wanted. This was always part of the plan. Now, we have to fight back, and we have to have credible politicians in the House of Commons and credible political parties, not the current lot, to actually do something about the sanity of our kingdom. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media.